and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and today we are doing the making of this mashed bracelet. This was pattern number 1457 on friendshipbracelets.net, as well as the pattern 3975, also on friendshipbracelets.net. When I kind of got started out, I got lulled into a false sense of how easy this was going to be, which of course was my demise. I ran into a couple of errors. One of those was because I saw there was a complete nice straight gray row. That's what it kind of looked like on the pattern, but if you look closely, the gray comes down and comes over, and the other gray picks up, and it just kind of makes, I think it was the blue was there, and it makes the blue kind of bounces one way and then the other. So it wasn't the whole straight row, and that was a mistake. And the other one, I don't remember. Oh, I think it was getting towards the center, and I didn't realize that the center kind of changes the way some of the stuff works. But other than that, I managed okay. As well I should. I've been making bracelets a long time. It shouldn't be that big of a deal, but it kind of a little bit was. It took a little bit longer than normally these strings, the size would take me. Normally this would be like an hour-ish, a little bit. This was like an hour and 15, hour and 17, something like that, which isn't bad. I mean, it's just, it took more concentration than I really thought it was going to. That said, the overall bracelet is kind of amazing because there's, 5 colors in it. But when I look at it, I don't say, oh, it's a red bracelet. I don't say, oh, it's a purple bracelet. Or I don't even say it's a gray bracelet. I just see a lot of pattern going on in there. And there's something about the pattern's repetition that makes it sort, I don't know how to describe it. It's sort of like just it almost seems perhaps more difficult, or it seems easy-ish or something. Like you definitely know, your mind picks up on the fact that there is a repetition, like a good song, right? When the music is playing and you notice the parts that come and go, and that's nice. And then there's other parts that kind of fade in or fade out. This is just like that. This is like a good song. And I really do like it. I really kind of surprised at how much I like it and how nothing about it was something that I would have, like certain patterns are in, you just they just come about like the dovetail, right? That's just, it's a simple progression that kind of comes in naturally. None of this is like that. None of this is just something where you would sit down and be like, okay, I want a pattern that goes. It's not. It is definitely two different things that were mashed together that just worked well together, which leads me to the question, what's going to happen further on down the road when we take these different, the inner or the outer part and toss that onto something else? Because I don't know. Will it go down this easy? Will it be something, where it doesn't flow as well? I can't say at this point. A lot of when we were doing the mash differently before, they were patterns that were twice the size, and I really did work out those patterns specifically to go with each other. The end goal of this whole project is to mash all kinds of different things with all different ones, just to see what comes of it. And I think there's going to be a big learning curve for a lot of different things, and that's kind of part of the challenge. That's kind of the fun for me, is in trying to push boundaries and do things that I wouldn't normally have ever done. And this definitely did that. I've made so many 12-string patterns in the past myself. Nothing is like this. None of the other and anything I've made is at all like this. And so, yeah, watch the pattern making, see how I did it, and maybe try this yourself. Try throwing things together and see what turns out amazing, because this was definitely a surprise for me. I thought it'd be interesting. I don't go into these things not with like an intention of coming up with something bad. That's not the case. But I go into these not knowing to what degree that I will enjoy it, or how much fun it'll be, or how much of a challenge it might be for myself. And that's the fun of creating the pattern and then doing the video that I show you how I put it together, so that way we can talk about what I kind of gained in the making process. And in this case, gained a lot. It was really cool. I keep looking down because I have the bracelet in my hand, and it's really, really cool. Even the kind of colors that went into it are not bad. I don't know if the camera's picking up the purple very well, but there's a bit of the contrast between the purple and the gray. I could have maybe have gone with a black, and then the purple might have stood out a little bit more, but I'm kind of okay with the way that turned out. It's that's not bad. The reds, how they come in and has that off-white that's inside of there, again, that's really fun. Oh wait, we're at about the middle of the video. I almost forgot. I need to thank my Patreon supporters as well as my YouTube members for making this possible. Again, they help with the costs of the embroidery floss and some of the equipment we've got around here. I've been changing things up, trying to make it better quality, better sound, that kind of stuff. So those contributions really have helped this channel a whole lot. I don't know if you guys even remember, like the old videos, I used to have to record the audio separately and then try to get it to match up. So sometimes my mouth might be moving and then you hear me talk. So this is much better. It's all getting recorded at the same time. So that's sort of a whole lot better. Yeah. So I can see this me now is over top of the old me who was making this. And the old me that was making this had a very confused look on his face as he suddenly realized that this is the actual center part here, and how confusing that was in the pattern and kind of knowing where I was. And then once I got it, I was okay. But yeah, there was a little moment there where it was a little bit a little grim. But then it picks up and it just goes faster and easier, and I kind of got the hang of it, and it was okay. Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to some more in this series. I have it planned to do a bunch of these between the rest of this month and going into next month. So I don't know quite how many I'll do before we end up on doing some other different things. I still want to do some blindside creations. I still want to do some other stuff. In order for me to do some more blindside creations, I need your guys' contributions. I need the pattern number, which website it came from, and the number of strings in the design, so that way I can be surprised and try a pattern that I might not have done otherwise, because those are always fun. So if you guys want to contribute to that, I'll give you a shout out in the video and we can have fun with that. So yeah, the only thing I think I might have changed a little bit differently was the fact that I did start out with the red where I did, and the fact that it went 3 and then it does 3 again. I think I might, like looking back at it, I think I might have changed that to either 1 or 2 before it goes to the other part. So I don't know if that means that when I do reuse this outer area, if I alter it or if I just go with what I've already got. So that is one thing that I kind of considered, because the length of the red area on the middle part is a lot compared to its counterpart. It's not bad or wrong, or it's just there is some room for being different with it. I think the other one worked fine. I think that it's well balanced. It's with the purple diamonds and the gray. I think that one works out just fine. But I am kind of curious about the possibly changing up the outer thing. So yeah. I did spend a lot of time like double checking the pattern as I made this. So yeah, it does take a bit of concentration. It's not one of the easy ones. It's not, despite the fact we started out with two very, very easy patterns, the fact that when you combine two easy things, it doesn't stay easy. That's kind of fascinating. I did let strings that can just continue on straight, mainly the gray ones, if they could continue on straight, I let them go straight. And I did not run into any problems running out of strings. My tails are plenty long. So that was fine. No other colors seemed to be used so much that there was anything to worry about. A couple of the grays were shorter, but again, they were still plenty long. That was nice. What else can I tell you? Yeah, I did watch videos while making this, so it wasn't so difficult that I had to like turn off other sounds and maybe just stick to music, because that happens. There are times where I'll just use music as the background to be able to keep my focus stronger. So that's a thing. Yeah, I think that's about it, really. I mean, it was harder than I thought it was going to be. Again, mix easy with easy. You think it should be at least easy, right? But no, it became advanced. Well, no, it became a strong intermediate, I would say. That makes sense, right? But yeah, I think the way that it changes, like on the wrist, I think it just really makes it a nice looking piece. It's really cool. So, and it doesn't take a terrible amount of time to make it, or a whole lot of string to have something that's kind of intricate looking. That's again a bonus in my eyes. Anytime it can look super fascinating, and like beginner or even somebody experienced with bracelets is going to look at this and be like, that's got a lot going on there. That's a thing. I like that. I like that a lot. So, yeah. So, if you guys have thoughts, ideas, things you want to share with me, let me know in the comments. Once we get a bunch of these patterns in, I'm going to ask you guys to see which ones that you want to see me mix this stuff with. So that'll be interesting. I want to say there's like about 150 different patterns that I gathered together that I thought would be fun for this experiment. So, but I'm not going to wait until we've done all 150 before we start doing the easy mix and just making bracelets. But I do want to get a few in before we get into doing that kind of stuff. And I don't want you guys to just throw crazy patterns at me already for doing this stuff, because honestly, I think there's some patterns that just aren't going to go well with it. So I am being a little bit fussy on the ones that I pick. Just ideas in my head that say that they'll work better than others. So we'll see how it goes. this is going to continue for a while. I'm going to be here for a while. So yeah. Yeah, this is coming up to the end here. The reveal is really soon. These videos end so abruptly. So yeah, hang in there. There we go. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.